Hello beautiful people, welcome to your practical application of astrology and my personal story share, the second one from Slovakia. I will be moving again next week. I'll be visiting the UK, so you will see the next one from the UK. So anyway, we are right here right now. Good news, my suitcase had turned up, actually turned up after being lost for 9 days, but I'm very grateful that all my things, all my belongings are back with me, because this Taurus over here gets very attached, very attached to my belongings, which of course I actually had to get to the point of just completely surrendering to the possibility that I will never see my things again, and literally the very next day it turned up. So this is, I guess, how it works. And also, as Moon is in the sign of Cancer, I just had my lunar return, and yeah, funnily enough, it was my mom's birthday yesterday on the 10th, so we are having a family lunch, like a family celebration. I have 3 siblings, so all of us together with all the spouses and kids and everything, so it's gonna be a big lunch. So I actually have to be very conscious of time, because we are leaving in just over an hour, and I wanted to record this before we leave, because then everybody's gonna come back here for a cake, birthday cake, which actually was being baked by my sister. So yeah, so this is the time I chose to record this message, because also tomorrow my parents actually want to go for a day trip, and then they invited me, and as I'm leaving again next week and I've been most of the time working, it's going to be some family time. So anyway, all that said, this week, as we know, was very quiet astrologically after the new moon in Taurus, which took place on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, depending where you are in the world. That's when you experienced it. For me here it was Wednesday morning, and yeah, it actually conjuncted my north node exact on 18 degrees of Taurus. So yeah, let's see where all this is going to lead, because Uranus and my north node are in a new phase conjunction, also Jupiter. So there are definitely a lot of realizations and a lot of perspectives shifting, because being once again back in Slovakia, back with my family, and re-experiencing a lot of the same old stories and a lot of the same old wounds, and interacting with those once again, I have the opportunity to rewrite those stories and, for myself personally, make new choice under the same old circumstances, because understanding that this is how the people are, this is the role they play, this is their life, and they have the right to choose the way they want to live their life, just as I do. It requires a lot of balancing, just like what I was mentioning in my last practical application of the astrology, in the balancing act. And this is literally what's going on, and this is, I feel, going on in many people's lives, because this is what's going on, or what needs to happen on the collective stage. This balancing act, where we actually understand that this Aquarian age, the age of fully embodying our sovereignty and individuality and authenticity, doesn't mean we all gonna be the same. It doesn't mean we all gonna agree with everything that anybody else is saying, but it means that we don't sacrifice who we are in order to fit in, but also we don't expect the other person to sacrifice, and somehow we want to co-create a world where we can all coexist with one another, and not wanting to harm or punish or cancel the other person just because they think differently, or believe different things, or look differently, or feel differently, or whatever else is going on. And this is what's been playing out for me since I arrived in Slovakia in a real time, because as I've been sharing before, being in Mexico, it's all easy because there is no family, no close friends, no partners, no nothing. It's just me and my life, and me interacting with the external environment in a way that is not as personal and as intimate as it is, for example, like being with your parents and staying with them for 2 weeks or something like that. This is a very close, intimate connection, and as we know, our family is our rock, right? So there is a lot of damage that can be done with that rock. So anyway, this is what's been playing out, and I'm observing there are also a lot of old wounds coming up with regards to my own inner child, because of the continuous, endless presence of my nephews, who I adore a lot, Absolutely, but there is a reason why I chose not to be a mother in this lifetime, and that is because I cannot cope. I cannot cope interacting with small children or any children every day 24/7. And I have a lot of respect and I honor women who chose to be mothers in this lifetime, and I'm sure a lot of them it's not easy. It's not easy, and I haven't had this experience in this lifetime. Like I said, I'm sure I was a mother in previous lifetime, but I chose it consciously because I know this is not something that I wish to experience in this lifetime. But having little nephews and my sister being still on maternity leave and coming to my parents' place very frequently, and my parents obviously being grandparents, they have the right and they want to see their grandchildren on regular basis, almost every day, if not every day. And there's been a lot of sleepovers going on with regards to my nephew, who is almost 4 years old. 4 years old. He's going to be 4 in July. So there's been a lot of me having to push my boundaries of my comfort zone, being this Taurus with my rigid ideas about what I like, don't like, and all the rest of it. And this all had to go through a process of readjustments. The same with my daily routine. I have to record my videos when I can, not when I want to. And well, I mean, with regards to work, I obviously do my clients reading when it's working for me and the client, and this is something that is accepted by my family because I'm working, right? But with regards to me creating a content or wanting to take time for myself to either do my yoga or to meditate or to do anything or nothing, this is something which is not so easily understood because I come from a family which is very family oriented, very like, well, we should all be together all the time and talk about everything and be in each other's lives fully, completely, and I don't do that. I don't do that kind of things. I like to keep myself a little bit separate and live my own life, which is not necessarily involving daily interaction with other people, even if those people are my family. So this is the environment which I have been experiencing in the past almost 2 weeks since I've been here, and I can't believe just how fast this time has gone. Literally, it was like yesterday when I was recording my last practical application from Puerto Vallarta, and just having my birthday, and now it's my mom's birthday. My mom is also Taurus, but she's on the Virgo decan, so she's different Taurus quality to mine. Not better or worse, just different. Like I'm Taurus. I'm on 5 degrees of Taurus, so very Taurian. Even though 5 degrees, of course, you can say, well, it's a Leo degree. To me, 5 degrees is Uranus. goes back to my Aquarius rising. Anyway, all that said, I was just recently celebrating my birthday, and now here I am with my family, and we're celebrating my mom's birthday, and soon enough it will be my dad's birthday. He's Cancer, the end of June, but I won't be here for that because I will be in Bulgaria, and so I will be for my nephew's birthday, who is also Cancer, but he is the early July. So anyway, being right here, right now, having all these experiences with my family is definitely bringing around the topics of the past, and also, as I said, the wounds, unhealed wounds of the past, of my own childhood, that is being mirrored to me by these children and their behaviors, and a lot of that is triggering for me. A lot of that is bringing out all these unhealed wounds and also belief systems that were created through experiencing the experiences that I experienced, through that wounding, through the trauma, whatever it is. So having this interaction not just with my family, which is the how to put it, it's the manifestation of the past, of the ancestor line, and also interacting with my baby nephews, who are the next generation, the Pluto Capricorns, and they are showing us the potential of the future at the same time as mirroring to us what is unhealed within us, that is the manifestation of the past. So I'm sure that many people who have children, and especially if you have Pluto Capricorn, so anybody born from 2008, this is what is very easy for them to do. Push all the right buttons to trigger that unhealed wound within us, and also that unintegrated lesson of the past. Because these Pluto Capricorns, they have very strong boundaries and they have very strong definition of who they are and what they want and where they are not going to sacrifice that, which I totally respect. But coming in the form of a 4-year-old or a 2-year-old, it is a bit of a challenge because there is no filter. There is no filter, there is no acceptable moral code or anything, which again, what is right or wrong? You know, I want to be Aquarian, where here you are, here you got the children that don't have any filter, and you have to, you know, you have to deal with it. And especially as, once again, many people who have this Pluto Capricorn, if you are one of those, you know that they have very... they have this innate ability of completely cancel you, completely ignore you, completely, if you say something, then they don't, and I don't know, maybe this is just my nephews, obviously I can't talk for your children or your experiences with your children's, but if we telling them something they don't like, don't agree on, or don't find as consequential, they're going to pretend I don't exist. I don't speak, I haven't said nothing, and they pretend they're deaf and they don't see, you know? So it's like it comes at the point where it becomes very frustrating, but obviously, what is this trying to teach us? What is this trying to show us? What are these aspects of ourselves that we don't want to see, that we don't want to hear, that we don't want to interact with? So there's been a lot of... potential for learning going on here, and of course always well, again, a story, but what I've experienced, what I've observed experiencing is that usually when I come here, the first week is the hardest, because it's that huge like a shock. It's a huge shock, because I just came from somewhere like Bulgaria or like Mexico or wherever else where I am totally free to be me, you know, not interacting with my family and all that, and suddenly I'm dropped in this environment of the nothing much change, you know, apart from these kids, you know, being born and now growing growing younger, because they going from babyhood to childhood, right, like growing with age, right? So they are showing us different aspects of ourselves and helping us to interact with reality in a different way, through, you know, also having the opportunity to see their own filter and perception of it. But anyway, so being every time I return to my homeland and my family place, and, you know, the cohabiting with my parents for a limited period of time, because, you know, I had realized that 2 weeks is the max, because anything past that, it starts being very detrimental to both myself and them. So 2 weeks is like, you know, the golden the golden ratio here. So anyway, all that said, every time I come back, I have the opportunity to apply what I learned into this situation, into this family line, into this pattern, into these patterns that have been recreated and re-experienced and showing up and unhealed, and, you know, they still are present. And now, okay, you gone out there, you learned something about yourself. So now let's see what you learn, how you're gonna apply it, and how you're gonna deal with this situation. And the first week, I feel like a complete failure. I feel like, oh my God, I'm getting triggered, you know, like I feel like I've learned nothing, you know, it was all for nothing. Literally 6 months is just deleted. I'm back here and everything is the same. I react the same way, which of course is not true. But, you know, this is the attachment to the story, right? And then of course, you know, as the time goes on and I stay here for a little bit longer, but before I had hit that limit, there is that sweet middle point, right? The sweet middle point, which is like after I've been here for a week, so I'm like adjusted to my environment, and before I move on again, so it gets too much, too long, and too suppressive for me. There is that middle point where I can appreciate the gifts and the learning of this situation. And once again, what is this? How is this applying to astrology, or how is this applying to anyone else apart from me talking here about my life? Is that majority of people are going through similar things. It might not be between you and your parents, it might be between whatever it is, but there are old patterns coming up because they really have to be resolved now, because we are just about to have Mars North-Node conjunction literally 1 week from now. Well, for some of us it will be Sunday the 19th. For me here in Europe it will be already Monday the 20th. I will be already in England at that time, hopefully, because you never know these days. But things are changing, you know, with Mars conjuncting North Node, upcoming Mars North Node conjunction, and of course Sun is conjuncting Jupiter, Uranus first on Monday, and then Jupiter later on this week. And I covered all of this in my astrological forecast. So if you would like to hear more about that, you can, you know, hear my interpretation of next week's transits. And this is, of course, all preparation now for full moon in Sagittarius, which is the last lunation that got seeded in 2023 that we see in the full moon of, because as of full moon in Capricorn is the lunation that already got seeded this year. We started the year with new moon in Capricorn. And subsequently, we're going to have Jupiter moving into the sign of Gemini on May 25th. So towards the end of this month, right before Mars conjuncts Chiron. So the story is shifting. The story is shifting. Ready or not, the story is changing. And we have the opportunity to choose. To choose what story we want to be creating from now on, because as I was saying, and I will dive deeper into this in my astrological forecast for the following week, where I will be interpreting the full moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter ingressing into Gemini during the time of new moon in Sagittarius, mid-December. Me, my friend Marissa, Growing the Flow in our stars and the cards, and also a lot of other people were saying about this seeding of this story of the future, the story that you want to be experiencing going forward, 2024, 2025, whatever, you know, going forward, because of course then Jupiter is going to move into a sign of Cancer in May 2025, which will be about expanding this identity that you are going to choose throughout this 1 year of Jupiter transiting through the sign of Gemini, because it's all about the choice. It's all about gathering information and then making a choice based on whatever you decide is the right thing for you. So now backtracking and going to present moment with this new moon in Taurus that got seeded at the beginning of this week, in conjunction with Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus as the ruler of it and the ruler of the South Node, the resolution node, and the node we're trying to evolve. This is something that now has to change, because Venus was in a closing phase to the moon. So this is about balsamic phase, closing, dissolving of the old cycle, learning the lessons, understanding the meaning, because the cycle is about to end, so a new cycle can begin. Venus as the ruler of the moon, Venus as the ruler of the South Node, this South Node that is in Libra, and saying we can no longer say, oh, I come from this family, so this is how it is, and it's my parents' fault, and it's my, you know, country's fault, and it's everybody else's fault. No. You know, like we are in a year of Capricorn. We are in a year number 8, associated with Saturn and Jupiter. We have 4 lunations in Capricorn this year, and it's the year of strength, you know, which is represented by Tarot. The card number 8. We need to step into our authority. We have to have the strength to take responsibility and to say, okay, well, whatever happened before, you know, to a certain extent, you know, I might have how would I put? I might have contributed, that's the word I was seeking, contributed obviously by the roles I played in my past lives, being one of those ancestors that, you know, we keep mentioning all the time and stuff. But at the same time, now we are at the time, living in a time and age with this Pluto now retrograde, and the first aspect Jupiter is going to make moving into Gemini is going to be the trine to Pluto, right? Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we are at the time where we have to make a choice. So with this new moon in Taurus that just got seeded this week, in a new phase, Jupiter and Uranus are already in a new phase, because we know they conjuncted in April 20th, right before the full moon in Scorpio, but also Uranus was in a new phase. Uranus-Sun conjunction, as I just mentioned, is happening now on Monday, which will put Uranus behind the Sun, because with Sun everything is complicated. But anyway, well, everything is unique, because Sun is unique. Sun is Leo, is unique, right? So what this means is that we really are having to break out of that pattern of the attachment to this past, you know, of comfort zone, because this is how it was, this is comfortable, this is familiar, you know. We have to break out of that and start making a different choice, perceiving reality differently. And, you know, the way we're going to support ourselves doing that is to know ourselves, trust ourselves, you know, taking the responsibility, like, okay, yeah, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, I might not be the most qualified person, but this is what is my intuition telling me, what is my inner guidance telling me, what I feel is the right for me right here, right now. And like I just said recently to my client, I said, whatever you do, you cannot make a wrong choice. You cannot really, because even if eventually with the passage of time you will decide, oh, this was a mistake. It wasn't, because you learned something you didn't know prior to making that choice. So there is no such a thing, because everything is going to teach us something. It's just about, are we learning? Are we seeing the learning? So this is how I'm trying to identify my current environment and my interaction with it, and trying to see it through the fresh eye. So not just straight away jump into the ego and into conclusions and storytelling of the past and recreating the same wheel and the same story and then getting upset about it. Trying to perceive, you know, my parents, my family, the way they do things and why they do the things that way, and try to understand in a way that maybe I didn't want to understand before. I didn't give them the credit for. Still doesn't mean that we're gonna be, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, everything is perfect and I'm gonna live here or something. No, but it's about the perspective, because as we know, Sagittarius comes before Capricorn. Whatever we believe, whatever is the lens through which we perceive reality, creates our reality. It influences the reality that we are then perceiving, right? So this is what I've been trying to pay attention to during this stay of mine. And also, as I said, I'm preparing for this well, walking down the memory line in the UK once again, because that is my second home. I spent half of my life in the UK until, you know, I left to be a digital nomad, but I spent half of my life in Slovakia and then half of my life in the UK, and then the rest of it is just being on the road, right? And just moving from place to place. And well, wherever that leads, and whatever is the next destination, who knows? But anyway, just be in a flow state, because nobody really knows anything for certain these days. And even in the message that I channeled, well, you know, this is all just inviting us and supporting us, pushing us. I don't even know what label to put on it, but the core message of all of that is that, well, you have to learn to trust yourself, because we are living in a times where things are changing very quickly, very rapidly, and they're going in a direction which we cannot foresee, because it's a different direction, new direction. And it is exciting to a certain level, certain extent, but it's also unsettling, it's ungrounding, right? So if we cannot rely on the external environment to make us feel safe and secure, as it is with the South Node in Libra, we have to find that safety and security within ourselves. Aries, start from the scratch, learn from the inside, right? But at the same time, understanding why the external environment is the way it is, or trying to understand, and also balance it, you know, balancing by neutralizing the charge, as I've been saying many times, removing the charge from the situation. So just like here, you know, like even with the suitcase situation, which is, like I said, it's completely like insignificant thing. I mean, a big scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But these were my personal things, you know, things that I've traveled with, you know, for many years now, which, yeah, most people would say, well, exactly, you know, old suitcase, old stuff, you know, just get new one, right? New energy. But yeah, there is the sentiment, there is the attachment. I care about these things, you know, like there are things that, you know, I've had for many years, still going back to cruise ships and the travel that I have done thanks to being, you know, working on a cruise ships and stuff. So it was more of the sentimental attachment, the emotional attachment. It wasn't so much about the clothes per se, or some, you know, makeup or nail varnish or whatever that is all replaceable. It's these memories, but they always live within us, right? But of course, I am very grateful that it did turn up at the, you know, at the end. But like I said, not until I actually surrendered to the possibility and started to accept it and become okay with it, that I might not see it again. That it might just be literally one of these lessons from the universe, where universe decides this is good for you. You have to learn to live with this experience. So I am grateful that I did get it back. But like I said, there was definitely a lot of opportunity for learning from that. And it's the same like with these situations we are experiencing in life, because we are attached to certain story, right? It's always about the story, you know, like I keep mentioning with regards to my family, with regards to my parents, with regards to, you know, all these dynamics I'm experiencing when I come here for a visit. It's a story. It's a story that, yes, I'm experiencing it because I believe in it. So then I find a proof for it. And now trying to experience it, and obviously not try to gaslight myself, but also like accept that, okay, well, on a human level, ego level, I'm experiencing this experience. This is how I'm identify it. But because we're becoming more and more multidimensional, and this will be the story of Jupiter in Gemini, you know, for the entire year, starting from May 25th, we have to start looking at things multidimensionally. It doesn't mean that the other side of it is invalid or it doesn't exist, but that's not the entire story. So like I said, like now trying to observe the situation with the fresh eye, not straight away just jump into the ego, but also hold the space for it, that okay, yeah, this is also the truth, but what else is the truth about this situation? And try to understand with my heart, try to understand on a deeper level, not just on the first superficial level, which is just so easy, you know, to just keep repeating the same patterns, the same stories, the same relational you know, paradigms, and just disregard it, like, yeah, it's never gonna change, it's the same, right? No, like, my parents never gonna change, this is never gonna change. But is that true? Well, who knows? Nobody really knows. Maybe yes, maybe no, but it's not the point. The point is about this fluidity and flexibility, and not rigid attachment to anything, not the story, not the thing, not the people, because all of this can change at any point. You know, all of these people around us can have a sudden awakening and can change at any point, right? So yeah, so there's been a lot of need for fluidity, really, flexibility, and open-mindedness and open-heartedness. And at the same time, also recognizing, you know, like, what do I need? Because again, with this Taurus, yes, it's about reconnecting with ourselves and the sense of self-trust in oneself, but it's also about this, what do you need? What is important to you? And are you nurturing that which you need? And I think this is especially coming with this Moon in Cancer being, you know, present with us this entire weekend, which of course, Moon in Cancer is in her rulership. Moon rules Cancer. And it's where she's the strongest, intuitive, very, you know, internalized, like feel the feels, you know, and what are these emotions trying to tell you, reconnecting with our inner world. And this is another aspect of my experience, because of course, Cancer, family, Cancer, ancestors, Cancer, rules, you know, roots, all the rest of it. And even with the Taurus, you know, like this message of we need to put the strong roots in the ground, roots, you know, to ground ourselves so we can embody the essence, right? So we can allow that to come through, but we need to have the strong roots. So it's all these roots, it's all this Cancer. And funnily enough, Jupiter and Uranus are going to conjunct in Cancer next time. So is it actually? Yes, it's Cancer, because yeah, because of the orbit of Uranus, they're not going to conjunct while Uranus is in Gemini. Yes, they're going to conjunct in Cancer next time. Okay, that's just beside the point, but it's also about how do you nurture yourself. And this is something which, again, I shared that I've struggled with. I struggled with my my routine, you know, what do I normally do when there are no humans around me and I can just do what I want when I want and give myself as much time for meditation as I want, 2 hours, whatever, you know, I decide. But now it's not the case, you know, it's not really available to me. So I had to be a little bit more flexible once again, so I don't completely abandon my meditation practice, but I had to be flexible about how I do it. What do I do? You know, what do I identify as meditation? Going for a walk in the nature, you know, or something, you know, it doesn't have to be the same rigid way, just sitting, you know, in a cross-legged lotus position, you know, with all the incense and everything around and crystals and just being in a Zen mode. It is not always available to us. And it's again, you know, like I've been saying, that we are definitely being primed and recalibrated for whatever is coming, because there will be circumstances outside of us which are completely outside of our control more and more because of this Uranus, and especially Uranus going into Gemini, right? Everything is everything, right? They're Gemini. So there will be situations and circumstances which will not always be favorable to what we want or what we want to practice or how we feel. And this is the same, like I've been saying, what I've been experiencing in Mexico, and then now with this suitcase, and now with my family and everything, you know, like how much power do I give to this external environment to take me out of my balance, to take me out of my peace, because not everything will always be how I want it to be. As much as I'm creating my reality as a conscious or unconscious creator, there are things that are outside of my control, because it's part of the collective contract. You know, it's not all just about me, even though in my life it is about me, but we are part of the whole, and the whole, the world, the collective consciousness is impacting us, right? So everything is interconnected. So I can try all I want, but there will be circumstances in our lives, in everybody's lives, which we don't have so much control over, because the higher self decided for our greatest good of evolutionary purpose, that this is what we need to experience, right? And that is to do with people outside of us, with the world and everything that's going on. And anyway, it takes us back to Taurus. It takes us back to ourselves, because Taurus comes in opposition with Scorpio, ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is in Aquarius, right? And Uranus is in Taurus. So how much do you trust yourself? And how much do you trust that no matter what happens external of you, you still have the power within you to balance it, you know? So we don't have to externalize our power or give our power to this courier company that lost my suitcase and go like, oh, they ruined my day, now I can't do nothing, I can't meditate, I can't do my work because I'm stressed, la 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 la. And there will be so many things in our life, throughout our lives, where things are happening like that, or even worse or less, whatever, doesn't matter on, you know, exactly that what is better. Or, it's not about competition, but there will be situations in everybody's lives throughout our lives where we are being challenged. Like, okay, how much do you allow this situation to take you off your track, you know, to what is it, derail you, right? That's the word, derail you. So yeah, so this is, like I said, this is a bunch of observations that I've been having and I'm now sharing. But like I said, I have to keep an eye on a time, and I do have a message, even though I haven't had any time to channel. So I'm very grateful that my spirit team is like, okay, give her this message, you know, even though she doesn't have so much time to practice now and stuff. But anyway, I do have a message, and I do have some decks that I felt called to use. So we're going to pull some cards, but this is technically all I have, you know, so I don't want to keep going in circles, but it is work in progress. It is cooking, as I'm sure it is cooking for everyone in their lives, and whatever is cooking on a global stage as well, because we are in a time of shifts, right? And like I said, with this Mars North Node conjunction, and then, you know, Mars as the ruler of the North Node is going to be in a new phase with the North Node, then it's going to eventually conjunct Chiron at the end of the month, and then it's going to eventually conjunct Uranus in the summer, and so it goes, you know. So yeah, there are a lot of changes on the horizon, and right now, as I said a few minutes ago, we are being primed, we are being prepped by facing all these things in our immediate environment that are not the worst thing, right? Most of the time, it's not like life-threatening or anything. You know, it's uncomfortable, it's triggering, it's like, oh, I wish I wasn't experiencing this, whatever. Still disempowering to a certain extent, but we are being trained. We are being trained. Like, okay, you know, if you allow this to really like make you feel like completely hopeless and desolate, then like, what if something else happens, you know? So it's like, it's all a matter of perspective, right? And it's not about invalidating everybody's experience, including my own, because I felt what I felt, and that's fine, you know, we all have the right to feel what we feel. But it's about, why do we feel that way? Where did it come from? What is the unhealed wound? Is it really about suitcase, you know? What is it really about, you know, or whatever it is. So this is the time, especially still being in a Taurus season for another week, this is a time to really do this inner, you know, observation and put the roots down. Root the knowing, root the knowledge, and take care of what you need, take care of yourself, observe what you actually need and how do you need to take care of yourself and all the rest of it. And of course, Mercury is just about to move into the sign of Taurus, so it helps us to ground these informations that were streaming through for us during the Mercury retrograde in Aries, this new way of thinking, new way of perceiving reality, interacting and connecting with it, because this is where we're going, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, the first three signs, the first quarter, you know, of a new cycle. And this is where we at, just about to enter Gemini season. And at the time of the new moon in Gemini, Mercury will already be in Gemini, in the sign of his rulership. So this is very powerful. So now we have Mercury in Taurus that is helping us to ground that which got concepted, which got seeded during the Mercury in Aries and his retrograde and triple conjunction to Chiron. And then we will have to be making some choices going further on in this year, especially with the Jupiter being in Gemini. Then Jupiter will be retrograde at some point, I believe from September. And then, yeah, you know, all this is to look forward to, right? But we are right here, right now, at the moment, in between the lunations, with a lot of activity next week. So once again, if you want to hear more about that, you can check out my astrological forecast. But now I'm going to read the channeled message and I'm going to pull some cards. And I, you know, have to cut it at probably 1 hour mark. So anyway, so once again, I actually asked for myself, but, you know, with the intention to share for others, but this is what I got anyway. What do my spirit guides want to share with me today? Change means growth, but neither usually comes or feels easy there on planet Earth. Lots of unconditional love, compassion, and patience is needed at this time towards yourself and those around you. Life, as you always knew it, is changing and everything is in a state of flow and transformation. The best way to approach this is not to hold on too tightly to any rigid ideas of what exactly is happening or what is what it should look or feel like. Just surrender to the process and flow with it like a river. All that's taking place is inviting you to connect to your emotions and your own inner world on a much deeper level. This need for reconnection to oneself and total acceptance of all that you are got seeded with the last Taurus New Moon. Your relationship towards yourself and thus towards the world around you is shifting because it has to change. The level of disconnection reached its ultimate peak, and now all needs to find a way back to wholeness, back to oneness, back to the source and all there is. This process is going to look and feel different for different people. Everything is happening exactly as it must, being divinely orchestrated by the powers you might not be able to fully understand just yet. However, the level of consciousness is rising alongside with all the shadows that are being illuminated and all the past wounds that require healing and integrating, becoming more and more conscious and more conscious to you on daily basis. This is a time of collective healing, collective transformation and transmutation. That which you are becoming is very different from that which you experienced before. Stepping into this totally unknown and uncharted territory requires an immense level of trust of yourself and trust of the divine. The more you heal and reconnect to the soul essence of who you are, the easier it will become to trust and face the unknown with courage, open mind and open heart. Once you understand fully how unconditionally you are loved and supported, you'll never feel so alone and separate again. It means not you'll never experience a sense of fear, loneliness, and separation, because these are all emotions that are part of human experience there on planet Earth at this time. However, none of these thoughts or emotions are to last for long. Let them flow through you. Acknowledge the messages that they are conveying to you and let them pass, release and let it go. The beauty of human life on planet Earth is the myriad of possibilities of what it can be, how it can manifest and be experienced. The more you reconnect with your divine essence and your true nature, the more consciously you can choose your experience. You truly are invited to embody the role of the conscious creator of your reality, because despite of all that you were being told and conditioned to believe. That's who you are. So why keep experiencing a reality that no longer feels good or resonates with you? There will be plenty of choices available and plenty of opportunities to make a choice going forward. However, you are here now in your present moment, and right here, right now, nurture yourself back to wholeness, acceptance, and loving yourself unconditionally. That's the way forward. That's the new foundation for the life you are creating. And as always, remember to ask for help whenever is needed. You are never alone. We are with you and loving you unconditionally always. So this is my brief message. And now we're going to pull some cards. Let me get some of the PDFs ready, because not all of it I have a book for. Okay, so we are going to start with the 7 energies, Oracle of the 7 energies. I was actually going to use different deck, but this deck kept calling me, so I had to shift them. So this is the deck we're going to start with, the Oracle of the 7 energies by Colette Baron-Reid. Okay, so a message with regards to the current collective energies that we are experiencing now, post Taurus New Moon. Oh, okay, we have 2 cards. Okay. Endless possibilities and the royal you. Interesting. There we go. Endless possibilities. So we can see all the stars and all the unlimited sky, and she's looking into this like a crystal ball. This girl, crystal ball, like a childlike innocence, and it's a number 38, which adds up to number 11. Master number frequency, and here is the royal you, and there is a lotus flower and all this gold, the golden age. We are going through challenges right now because we are birthing the new you that is going to be in resonance with the golden age that we are heading into. You can see that it's already becoming half gold, and there is all this change, all this potential, all these different colors, all these movements, right? So yeah, there is that crown, and it's the number 16, which is number 7, which is Neptune. And at the bottom we have close encounters, freeing yourself from the cage. Look, there is a butterfly there and another one outside, and it's a number 10, endings and new beginnings. Okay, so let's see what these 3 cards want to tell us. Unlimited possibilities, the royal you, and close encounter. And we can see these are different chakras. So we start with the endless possibilities, the card number 38. 38. And that should be the energy of throat chakra, maybe? Let's see. No, it's already gonna be the 3rd eye. Okay, so it's the 3rd eye chakra, the endless possibilities, visioning. And it's interesting because the title for my astrological forecast, what came to me was the envisioning. So yeah, 3rd eye, this is an activation of the 3rd eye chakra. That's why number 11, right? Key concepts: unlimited potential, moving beyond limiting beliefs and the filter of an unhealed past, using your awareness to discern what is possible and having the courage to live beyond even that. You look at the world through the lens of your life experiences, personality, and conditioning. The filter determines whether you believe in an abundant universe of endless possibilities or various degrees of limitation and a finite range of options. When your expectations, unconscious or otherwise, are based on lack, it's difficult to see what is truly available to you. Today, ask yourself what you believe. Are there limitless potential outcomes to align your energy with? Do you know intuitively that there is more to life than meets the eye? And are you willing to act on that knowledge? As you believe, so will it be for you, as your energy will attract its match in the outer world. Conditions meet expectations. Either your world remains the way it is in various forms, yet essentially unchanging, or you become more. Everything shifts as you open yourself up to greater version of you and more meaningful life, discovering opportunities that better reflect your true self. This is the nature of your dynamic relationship with the divine. Today stand with open arms, knowing that you are stepping into beauty, into experiences that are potent and transformative. You are walking past the line that you and others drew long ago, leaping over what was and toward what will be. You are more than you were. Now, what is it that you want? The treasure is yours. You just need to believe it. I mean, this is just literally summing up the whole channeled message and what I've been sharing in the past half an hour about my experience here in Slovakia. Fascinating, right? It's always so funny how these cards always resonate with, because like attracts like, right? Okay, so then we have number 16, the Royal You, which is the third chakra. That's the solar plexus, the personal power, assertiveness, will, action, vitality, movement, individuation, and extreme state, joy, anger, transformation. I forgot to read about the crown chakra, energy 6. So the crown chakra, light, intuition, vision, imagination, prescience, knowing, perception, and mental states. Okay, so now we're moving up. we're moving down. We're moving to solar plexus, the I am. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then yeah, how are we gonna get past it? So number 16, which is the Royal You. Sovereignty, responsibility, self-confidence aren't these words that I was just talking about? Sovereignty and taking responsibility and stepping into your authority, right? Self-confidence, self-rule, ownership of your feelings and actions, a quiet sense of empowerment, being self-aware, not allowing outside influences out of alignment with your truth. Interesting. Do you know what it means to express personal sovereignty in your life? It's about how you hold to your inner sense of worth and integrity, secure in your belief that you have unique purpose. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are, and that nothing outside of you can challenge your authentic self. I think a lot of us have a problem with that because my throat chakra is going. Excuse me. Knowing who you are and that nothing outside of you can challenge your authentic self, the hard-won seat of awareness that you have earned. You are the ruler of your mind, and you're being invited now to consider what discipline you need to apply into your thoughts. Are they consistent with the values and beauty to intend for your life? It is important now to keep your focus on what is right and good for you as well as others. Challenges in your life at this time, no matter how large or small, must be met with a measured response. If life sends you a challenge, can you speak up and set your boundaries with grace and surety? Calm, intelligent leadership is called for now. There we go. There's the Capricorn. Sovereigns know when to plan their battles, so stay out of unnecessary skirmishes and strategically wield your personal power. Now is the time to lead from the heart, from your authenticity and integrity. Hold your head high and know your worth. That is the mark of a true sovereign. Sounds like Taurus to me. Sounds like Taurus, reconnection with your true essence. The Royal You. That is the foundation of the future. Knowing who you are, trust in yourself, myself included, of course. Okay, close encounters. Let's see about the number 10, which is the sacral chakra from the looks of it. The creation, the creativity. Okay, energy 2, water, yes, sacral chakra. Connection, sexuality, intimacy, birthing, desire, pleasure, feelings, and fluidity. Close encounters, vulnerability as a strength, letting others see your wounds as well as your strength, setting healthy boundaries. Again, boundaries, Capricorn. This is a time of connection that asks for you to be vulnerable and authentic. Let go of any social mask or constructs you use to keep yourself apart from others. Lower your shields and allow yourself to step into a dance of intimacy. When you become close to people, you remind yourself that you are not alone. You are part of a beautiful, meaningful bond. At a deep spiritual level, there are so many lessons offered to you in this closeness. At the social level, intimate relationships help you ignite the spark of life that is the power of affinity. You flourish as a result of offering emotional honesty and true desire for equality, love, friendship, and laughter. We aren't meant to be alone, yet sometimes we are wounded and we build walls around ourselves so we don't get hurt again. It's time to be honest about yours and step out from behind that barrier and engage in all of life. This is a beautiful opportunity to allow your vulnerability to be your strength as you choose to live life in integrity and without artifice. Even in your work life, this mode of connection allows you to be truly present. When you live this way, everything and everyone thrives. You have no need to defend yourself when you being truly and utterly you, empowered by your raw openness and willingness to be seen. In this way, your close encounters will not fail you. There is much to celebrate when you stand eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder, and share in your heart. Transformation of relationships, sacral chakra, creation of the new, water, connection to the emotion, and yeah, still the stars, the hope for the future, and like I said, number of 10. The cycles of the past way of relating are ending, and we have the opportunity to start anew. There's all that light. So yeah, all these cards, they are so in alignment with all these energies we are experiencing. The new moon in Taurus and this upcoming full moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter moving into Gemini, because the possibilities are unlimited. It just depends on our perception and standpoint and trust towards ourselves and how we engage with life. And this is like, literally, this could be a personal reading for me because of everything that I shared with regards to my family. But like I said, we all mirror one another, so I'm sure that this is also applicable to a lot of people out there. Okay, now we're going to ask the fairies, because the fairies wanted to speak today. I rarely use this deck. I only used it for a client once, and it was exactly the right thing. So fairies wanted to speak. So let's see what fairies have to say. Okay, fairies oracle. Fairies, what do fairies want to share with us? Because we are stepping into magic of who we are. Oops, okay, there is a fairy flying out. Go outside. It's time to go outside. Time into the powerful piece of tune into the powerful piece of nature, wherever you are, and feel at one with your habitat. We have a fairy in the forest, and there's been a saving grace for me. The forest, Merlin energy, one of my guides, one of my personal guides, Fair Merlin. And the one at the bottom is magical blessings. Okay, we take that as well. All that green, look, all that heart chakra. Whatever you're going through, you'll be assisted by magical fairy blessings. The fairies say you can bless others too. Go outside, reconnect with nature, and you are being infinitely blessed by the fairies, by the fifth dimension. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say here. But yeah, reconnection with the nature, and also because Taurus season, it's absolutely essential going forward. Relationships with everything around us. It's time to go outside, tune into the powerful piece of nature wherever you are, and feel at one with your habitat. When the fairy queen of the forest graces your card, it's time to get out and get close to nature. The magic of your local forest or woodland is calling to you right now. Often the message is simply to get outside so you can recharge your batteries. We can forget to do this when we get wrapped up in our work, particularly when we are sitting in front of screens and computers. So if you can, spend some quiet, contemplative time in this environment. Find a place that calls to you, sit there and just be. Have no expectations, just experience your surrounding and be receptive to any signs. The fairy queen of the forest urges you to feel the powerful peace of nature and to be open to any signs, such as the appearance of certain animals or their action that might appear during your mini retreat. You might need only 5 minutes, but you can be assured that this gift to yourself of being in nature will give you much more energy to get on with your working life in a more productive way. It would be wise to follow this advice from the fairy queen of the forest when she appears, because she knows only too well how precious the gifts of the forest are. If you're not physically able to get outside, then look at the image of woodland in the book or magazine, or at least resort on screen. You can also use creative visualization to imagine you're outside, you are outside enjoying nature. Yeah, this is very important for grounding, especially grounding all these energies and high vibrations that are streaming through all these solar flares and upgrades and everything. We need to learn to ground those. And this is such a healing, you know, to go into the nature. And also, because the weather is getting nicer, so I hope it is for other people out there too. So it's definitely a good opportunity for reconnection. And magical blessings. Fairies are blessing us with their healing in these forests. Magical blessings. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by magical fairy blessings. The fairy says you can bless others too. To receive fairy blessings is an honor, and right now the fairies are bestowing their blessings upon you and your current situation. Fairy blessings are magical and can also be healing. Only you will know what form these blessings take. You can ask the fairies for their blessings at any time. Perhaps you have a job interview coming up or a challenging situation at home. To do this, close your eyes and speak from your heart, explaining why you feel the blessings would be beneficial. Then wait. Patience is a virtue. Again, patience coming up. When hoping for a message or sign from the fairies, and remember they will only bestow blessings if it is their will. It's important to acknowledge the fairies' blessings and give thanks. An easy way to do this is to leave some raw food such as fruits or nuts in your garden or outside your door. Wildlife can enjoy any leftovers, or these can simply biodegrade. You can also leave seeds out for the birds or pick up some litter. Caring for the environment is a way that we humans can return blessings to the fairies. The fairies are also reminding you that you can bestow blessings on others. Showing our loved ones that we care is a form of blessings, especially to those who live alone or are feeling lonely. A visit, a smile, or a hug can make the world of difference. Just a kind and loving thought can also be a blessing. This card is also a reminder to count your blessings and to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Yep, because like attracts like, and it was 56, 56, 11, 11, as I said that. Okay, now we're going to speak to angels and ancestors, because we already been speaking about all this connection to ancestors anyway. And this is my soul deck. I love this deck. Carl Gray, angels and ancestors. Let's see what message comes through to support the rest of the messages we received. Okay, angels and ancestors, what message they have for us at this time? Oops, okay, there is one. Heart Guardian. Oh my god, and isn't this funny? Because when I last used this deck, this card was at the bottom of the deck and I didn't look. And then I had to put it in a story on my Instagram because I was like, I feel this card is important, and I forgot to, you know, look at the bottom of the deck. Heart Guardian, look. Love and let yourself be loved. And also last week with the Sufi, it was all about this heart, connection to the heart, you know, perceiving life through heart consciousness, Leo, in opposition with Aquarius. And at the bottom is Knight, be brave and honest. Here we go, Knight, you know, so connect with your heart and also be courageous to stand up for that which matters to you, brave and honest with yourself. And there is all that white innocence. And all these roses, you know, blossoming, courageous. I know that in Stacey DeMarco, there is that be courageous and you will blossom. The courage card. Okay, Heart Guardian, straight away I found her. Love and let yourself be loved. She looks like Mother Mary, doesn't she? You know, but it is an angel, of course. And she also holds a rose. Interesting. So we have red rose on each I'm not much, you know, like I don't know much about flowers. So I know that it's a passion and unconditional. I think it's an unconditional love, or is it the white rose? Anyway, whoever knows what red rose really signifies, but there is a red rose on each of them. Either way, it's about reconnection to your heart. Okay, message. Welcome with open arms opportunities to give and receive love. About the heart guardian is an angelic energy that can help you call for protection and guidance with all issues surrounding the heart. This is essentially the angel who helps you with all relationships, whether they be with yourself, family, or even a romantic connection. She can enable you to move beyond any limiting fears about trust, discern whom to trust, and understand how you can move forward in a balanced relationship with that person. In this card, she is adorned with a sacred heart and draped in a red cloak to show her capacity to let love lead the way. Extended message. You are lovable and loving. The energy of love is surrounding you, your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you are finding it challenging to feel love at this time, it's important for you to give yourself credit where it's due. You are also encouraged to welcome support from others. Learn to receive. Don't try to do everything on your own. If you are working on a relationship or are in a new relationship, this card can usher in energies that allow you to forge a powerful connection with your partner. Love is in the air. Love with yourself, first and foremost, because our relationship with ourselves affects all the relationship to everybody else. How do we feel about ourselves has an impact on our relationship with our external. Okay, and now the Knight that was at the bottom of the deck. Be brave and honest, or be courageous and you will blossom, right? Like Stacey DeMarco says. Okay, Knight. Message. Do the right thing, even if it isn't the easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true. About the Knight is a knight in shining armor dedicated to the crown that his sword defends. In this sense, he is a protector of the Holy Grail and therefore of your spiritual growth and expansion. He represents the warrior in you, whether you are male or female, that energy is within you. His sword and armor shows he is courageous and strong, but if you look closely, you will see he has a tear running down his face, showing his willingness to be vulnerable and his love for what he protects. Yeah, it's very hard to see, but he does have a, I mean, it's very hard to see, you know, with the phone camera, but he has a tear running down his cheek. Extended message. The energy of respect is important right now. You are being encouraged to figure out what is important to you and what you stand for. If you are in a space where there's opposition, you are being guided to follow through with integrity, because even if it seems this will show your progress, your rewards will be much more abundant. You are being surrounded by a light of bravery to help you. This card also brings justice. If you are longing for justice, please know that the universal energies are working to bring to force anything through with your will. If you have made any mistakes recently, it's important to take ownership of them so that you can align yourself with improving the situation. If you are feeling the need to defend your spiritual path at this time, back down and let it protect you. So this is very connected to the heart, because when we connect it to the heart, we can approach the situation with integrity. And, you know, also we are able to be brave and courageous and honest, because we no longer have to feel like we have to protect the ego, because the heart doesn't judge. It's not polarized. So when we approach the situation from the heart, we don't get as triggered because the ego always wants to be right to protect us. But then we can be more honest and also be brave to face whatever it is because of the heart consciousness. Okay, and let's see, you know, if I can pull from 2 more decks, but I wanted to use the inner child. We're going through from ancestors to inner child. because it seems to be the topic of it, because a lot of the wounds are connected to our childhood, right? Unresolved wounds of the childhood, which, as I mentioned many times before, are unhealed ancestor wounds. So, okay, inner child oracle. I really like this oracle. It's so nice. Okay, what message to be aware of at this time? Okay, one card. Today is the day. It's time to begin the journey. Oh my God, and look, she has the giraffe, higher perspective. She's clothed all in white, purity, new beginning. Again, we have the forest there, just like with the queen of the forest, the fairy queen of the forest, yeah? Forest, and we know we are being blessed by the fairies of the forest. And there is a storm on the horizon, but there is also the rainbow. It's all divinely guided and we are protected, but it's not necessarily all going to be easy. But purity started afresh, high perspective, the giraffe, and yeah, reconnection to the nature, reconnection to the true essence of who we are. Number 36, which is the number 9, and we already had the number 10 of coming out of the cage, right? The cage that we were being put into and we then created for ourselves to protect ourselves. So today is the day, number 36. It can seem overwhelming when you look toward the finish line of a journey you have not yet begun and see how long it will take to reach the end. But the finish line is not always where your attention belongs. It belongs in a space right in front of you. The journey begins with one step and continues with the next step and the next until one day you will have arrived. If you have pulled this card, then it might be time to do what you have been putting off. And self-care exercise. Make a commitment to yourself to begin your journey. Though it might seem scary, know that beyond the horizons awaits something more wonderful that you can know in these present moments. No one is ever truly ready for their first steps. It is not perfection that we seek, but a life lived fully. Responsive journaling prompt. How does it feel to start your new adventure today? Take some time to list all of the wonderful things that will come to you on this new journey. There is so much to look forward to. And at the bottom of the deck, we have disappointment is not the end. And it is another number 10. And look, again, the forest. There is so much nature, so much forest. You know, again, another fairyland. Disappointment is not the end. There is hope even in the darkest of the nights. It's time to begin and not to despair, because there is again a star, the hope for the future, Aquarius, and all this beautiful nature, these purple flowers, you know, I don't know, they might be violets. Purple, you know, that is the crown chakra connecting us to cosmos, and also violet flame, the flame of forgiveness, and all the water facing our emotions, and all the clouds, right? And the mirroring effects, as above, so below, as within, so without, but hope for the future through healing and reconnection to that which really matters. Nature, Taurus, reconnection to yourself. Number 10, like I said, we already had one number 10, the one with the butterflies. This is the second number 10. Close encounters and disappointment, the ending and the beginning. 36, the 9. Disappointment is not the end. Disappointment can be difficult emotion to experience, and afterward it can be hard to have hope again. It is okay to be disappointed. Disappointment is an aspect of life that is inevitable, and being human is a messy journey, full of twists and turns. We do the best we can with the knowledge we have, but not everything turns out as we hope. In truth, no disappointments or mistakes make us any less of the beautiful, wonderful people that we are. If you have pulled this card, it might be a sign that the fear of disappointment is hindering your path. Practice courage and acceptance. Oh my God, that is that here. Be brave and honest. Practice courage and acceptance. There is always hope, beloved, and happiness is waiting for you just ahead. Acceptance exercise. If you feel fear around disappointment or have experienced disappointment, then it might be a good practice to develop in acceptance around it. If we are unable to accept that a disappointment has occurred, it can cause prolonged pain. By avoiding the reality of our disappointment, it may feel as though we are protecting ourselves from pain, but it will ultimately hinder our ability to go after what we desire in the future. Try to accept that disappointments will come and go, and know that you are strong enough to try again. Do not let disappointment or the fear of being disappointed stop you from living your glorious life. And the responsive journaling prompts: when you think about disappointment, how does it feel in your body? Do you experience feelings of anxiety or fear? Ask your inner child how they feel about disappointment, and if there is anything that you can do to help them feel more accepted and loved around disappointments. So yeah, we started a new journey, and we mustn't let the past to hinder our stepping into it. Okay, what's the time? Okay, quickly, Angels Tarot. Angels Tarot wants to speak. We're not going to read the booklet because this is a tarot, so hopefully I can manage. Quickly, Angel Tarot message. As the closing message, we have some flyers over here, 2 of them. King of Water, King of Cups, 10 of Earth. Oh my god, there is another stuck behind. Page of Earth, 10 of Earth, Page of Earth, and King of Fire. Oh my god, we have 2 kings and 2 kings. King of Fire, King of Water, embodiment of Wands, which is the creativity. That was actually at the bottom. Okay, King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice, charity work. So here we are, King of Cups. It's all about being able to handle our emotions, balance our emotions. Then we have the 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles, which is a very good card, very lucky card. It's the legacy and all this abundance, right? A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. And there was the Page of Earth, which is Page of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Scholarly, dependable, patient, successful, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. I also feel, because this is a time sequence that represents 10 years, so we are starting to build a new reality for ourselves, which we will see much more clarity of in 10 years time, which of course we know will be the midway of Pluto's transit through Aquarius. So we are starting on a journey that's going to lead to abundance, to a new life, reconnection with the new nature, potential for happiness, you know, the 10 of Pentacles, the ultimate abundance, right? But we need to trust ourselves fully, be able to balance our emotions, and have the courage to take an action. The King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious and charismatic. Focus. Communicate with vision and be the leader. Advice from someone creative. Be the leader of your creation. Feel deeply into it, and then we're going to create that which we want to experience. Okay guys, I really have to go. I hope this was helpful. I hope the messages resonated with you, and I'll speak to you again next time. Much love everyone. Have a great week, and bye for now.